You know, dad has a way of being and a style that he was socialized into where emotional expressiveness is not in his wheelhouse. That doesn't mean that being emotionally loving is
Right.
not in his wheelhouse. He's loving, it sounds like, and connected, but he was never given the whatever it is, socialization, conditioning, permission, experience, whatever you want to call it, to be verbally expressive about what's in his heart. And so for most of your life, you've accommodated that. You've worked with him as is. And now you are experiencing a longing emerging in you where you want to invite him to do something that's a little out of style, out of his habit. And you're wanting to do it in a way that's really gentle and accepting and inviting and doesn't come across as a criticism or a complaint. So what would it be like to give a little bit of frame? It sounds like the request needs a little onboarding, a little context. But I mean, some ideas would be something like grounding it in an observation. Hey, Dad, I notice sometimes when we get off the phone, I love telling you how much I love you. And I'm guessing you take it in. Is that true? And I'm guessing because I don't, you don't tell me, which is fine. But when you don't tell me, I'm just assuming you're taking it in. Is that true? Is that a good assumption? And even if he can nod, like you're going to make it so that he only has to give you some yes and no's in the early stages, right? And then you're like, yeah, I love that. I love knowing that you do take it in. And I'm also guessing that you love me too. Is that a fair assumption? Yes or no? Of course, he's going to agree. Yes, of course he does. Right. And then you might say something like, one of the ways that I can take your love in even more deeply is just hearing the words. I know you're not a words person, and I know I can still feel your love. Even if you don't put it into words, but just an FYI, I would be so delighted if you ended a phone call with "I love you." Is there any part of you that feels like you might be able to offer that? Could you tell me that? What happens when I ask for that? Something like this. Like, does that just seem like completely out of the realm of possibilities? Or can you just tell me right now, like, hey, I love you? Or is that just like never going to happen? Like, if you bring it up this way with sort of an openness to, he might say it, he might not say it, you're exploring with him, you're socializing him to the idea a little bit and kind of getting a feel for it. Does that feel a little more approachable or still not?